now that we've set up the AI ready for some work in the printing for the laser cutter, the next thing we need to do is really learn how to do the different types of cutting. There are three types. First one is etching, and that's just simply getting an image from the internet or one that's been created before, and the laser cutter just burns that into a piece of wood or glass or plastic or whatever. There's also cutting and also etching, and this lesson's about the first real main part of it is about etching. So what I'm going to do is just write some simple piece of text on here. There we go, lorem ipsum, that's fine. So lorem ipsum, I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger so we can see it on this screen. Now over here we have its size, so maybe I want to make it say only 100 wide. If I do that, then you'll see that this changes to that size, and you can see that this one here is black. Now if I was to print this, it would be etched out, it would be completely black, and I don't want to do that at the moment, so I'm just going to show you this. I'm going to make this huge and show you what I would do. So first of all, I would leave it black so that I can etch that, or I could, for example, leave it white, and that is by clicking on this color here. Or what I would do is the outside, it's called a stroke, and the outside maybe I might want to etch that. So if I click on this, the stroke color, and then I choose this color mixer palette, it will then give me the RGB. Now the laser cutter works in understanding RGB, red, green, blue. Now if I was to put this at 255 on red and 000, it would go pure red, and what would happen is you can just see a faint outside line there, and that would then etch this out first and then cut it out of whatever material I had. Remember, it can't be thicker than 12 mil, and that would actually cut out all those letters, but it would etch them first, so they would be burnt letters on the top, let's say a piece of pine, and then it would cut them out, so you'd have all these individual letters. If that was this box around here, if that was a piece of pine, then they would be hollow on that piece of pine. So not really looking for that sort of thing. So I'm just going to put in here blue, and now what we've done is the blue is going to etch it. I then have to tell it that this is 0.001, and that is going to be the thickness of my line. I'm going to change this to white, or sorry, transparent, and so that way you can see that that blue line is now really tiny and thin. So if I then was going to be happy with that with the printing, I then press Ctrl plus P, which brings up my printing dialog box. I then change my printer to the type of laser printer that we have, which is VLS 3.5. I can also go in and choose, if I click setup, I can go to preferences, and I can then tell the software which type of material I have. So this one, it goes into the UCP software, which is the laser printing software. I'm then going to choose pine, and I'm going to say that it's 3.6 millimeters thick, or if I wanted to, I could say, alright, it's going to be a piece of 12 mil pine. Oops, press the wrong button. Go back into the preferences, sorry. I can change the intensity, but I don't need to change any of that because I'm happy with it. I can even do this and change the manual controls if I want to, but this is already automatically defaulted to pine. I am going to change this one again. Because I pressed enter, it mucked it up. So if I just click 12. I can then click apply. I then choose OK, and it has a bit of a think about this. I can then press print, and then press print again, and it will now send that file to the software. Now the software ends up down here, so if I click on there, it will then show me, and you can just barely see that there is my writing there. This is going to show me what's going to happen on that board. So that is a way in which you can etch out lettering, and you can say whatever you want. Now you're probably going to say, well, what if I wanted to fill that in? Well, if you filled it in, for example, in blue, that's 0 tab 0 255 is the maximum, and press enter, it will come out in blue, and it will etch it quite well, but it doesn't do that much compared to black. It's pretty much the same. The blue etching on the lettering on the outside is probably the best way to do it, and then you just press print from there, and then of course it ends up on here, which if I zoom in you can start to see that that's there like that. Now I'm going to explain this. This has now, it's now black. If it was blue, if it was going to etch that, it would etch it blue, and you would be able to see that on the board as blue, but it's black, and that's because the software is not talking to this one very well. And so what I need to do is actually save this one as a PDF file. So if I saved it as a PDF file and then I print it, it will then come up in the software as blue. So that's just a little glitch that I found with this software, that we need to change it to a PDF file and then print it in Adobe Acrobat Reader, and then it will come up in this software as a blue, and then you can hit play and off it goes. So the next one I'm going to show you is how to actually cut something.